In a surprising move, Sony has confirmed a significant price increase for the PlayStation 5 in Japan. Starting September 2nd, 2024, the standard PS5 will cost 79,980 yen, approximately $552, up from 66,980 yen, around $462. The digital-only version will see a similar hike, rising from 59,980 yen, around $414, to 72,980 yen, about $504. This price adjustment also affects accessories, with DualSense controllers increasing from around $65 to $80, and the PlayStation Portal rising from around $205 to $240. Sony attributes this hike to recent challenging external environments, including fluctuations in the global economic situation. Interestingly, this isn't the first time the PS5 has seen a price increase since its launch in 2020. While the PS5 has sold well, with 61.7 million units sold as of August 2024, Sony has lowered its sales targets for the fiscal year, reflecting a broader trend of declining sales. This news raises concerns about whether similar price increases might be seen in other regions, though no such announcements have been made yet. The SHAD PS4 PlayStation 4 emulator has been making remarkable strides in recent days, now capable of running Bloodborne, one of the console's most beloved exclusives, at significantly higher frame rates and resolutions than the original release. As demonstrated in videos shared by Brutal Sam, the emulator can run Bloodborne at resolutions up to 1800 pixels and frame rates as high as 120 and 144 frames per second. While emulation isn't yet perfect, with some visual elements still rendering incorrectly, the progress is impressive considering the emulator was only able to boot the game a few weeks ago. This development suggests that a fully playable version of Bloodborne on PC may not be far off. Moreover, the excitement doesn't end with emulation. A well-known Souls series modder has announced they are working on a remaster of Bloodborne for PC, which will include upscaled textures, dynamic shadows, enhanced reflections, and more. This remaster could be the solution for PC players eager to experience a version of Bloodborne that Sony seems uninterested in officially releasing anytime soon. According to Jeff Grub, the PS5 Pro is still on track to release this year. He mentioned that there's a good chance the console might be revealed during a State of Play event by the end of September. Although it's still uncertain if the PS5 Pro will be featured, the possibility is high. What makes this even more intriguing is that almost everyone in the gaming industry seems to know about the PS5 Pro already. During Gamescom, a developer informed Alessio that they had received the system specifications and are confident that Unreal Engine 5 games will perform better on this new hardware. The fact that smaller developers are also being briefed on the specs suggests that Sony is gearing up for a wide-scale announcement and release. However, there's a mix of excitement and skepticism surrounding the PS5 Pro. While it's expected to offer improved performance over the base PS5, some are disappointed with the anticipated upgrades. The PS5 Pro might have a slight bump in GPU power, possibly some extra memory, and a bit more storage, but the core experience might still involve tough compromises between graphical fidelity and performance. Another source says that the official announcement is close and the PlayStation 5 Pro is set to handle Unreal Engine 5 better. This information comes from the website WCCF Tech, which I've seen circulate across multiple websites throughout the weekend, and even this morning. A developer openly said that they have received the specs of the PlayStation 5 Pro and are confident that Unreal Engine 5 would run much better on the new hardware compared to the regular PlayStation 5. Moreover, the studio I heard it from is not a big one, which makes it clear that the hardware's specifications and details are already in the hands of a large number of game makers. As such, it is reasonable to assume an official announcement is near. Looking at the PlayStation 4 Pro, the console was announced on September 7, 2016, and subsequently launched on November 10th. The same could happen again, as suggested by an industry analyst in late July. So I want to make two distinctions. Here, one is that they heard from a developer about PlayStation 5 Pro specs, which is something multiple people have gotten at this point, like Moore's Law is Dead on YouTube, Tom Warren from The Verge, Digital Foundry, etc. And two, they are guessing at the PlayStation 5 Pro announcement being soon based on the PlayStation 4 Pro's announcement timeline, which, if it goes down the same way, could happen next week. So I just read this article about Crimson Desert, and it gave me mixed feelings, but in an interesting way. You know how when you're hyped about a game and it's almost everything you expected, but then there's this one weird choice the devs make that leaves you scratching your head? That's kind of what happened here. Connor McCarr, who got to try out the game at Gamescom, said Crimson Desert looks absolutely stunning. It's like Pearl Abyss, the team behind the game, went all out in making it visually jaw-dropping. And the combat system sounds wild too. Imagine smashing enemies with this combo system where 2-button presses lead to all kinds of cool moves, from huge slashes to wrestling-style takedowns. It's the kind of thing that makes you feel like a total beast when you're fighting humanoid enemies, like bandits. Those fights were so good that they went beyond Makar's expectations. But here's the thing, Makar was puzzled by the way the demo was set up. Most of the time, you're fighting bosses and all those sick moves you just learned, yeah, they don't really work on them. Instead, you're left playing a slow, patient game of waiting for the right moment to land a couple of heavy hits. It's like the game is nudging you to play it in a totally different Souls-like way, which feels at odds with the intense, fast-paced combat it seems to be best at. The environments and visuals? Absolutely top-notch. The way the game handles particle effects, how the world reacts to your actions, like the ground cracking under a powerful slam, is on another level. But Makar left the demo feeling a bit frustrated because it didn't show off the game's best aspects, those thrilling group fights where you're taking on multiple enemies at once. Even though he's a bit annoyed with the demo's setup, Makar is still excited to see more of the game. It's clear there's something special here, especially with its release planned for 2025. Now, he just hopes that the next time he gets his hands on it, it'll better showcase what makes Crimson Desert so potentially great. We also got some interesting news on the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2. While there's still no official announcement, a recent rumor is giving fans something to talk about, specifically about the next-gen console's controllers. According to a discussion on the Bonus Level podcast, reported by Universo Nintendo, there's talk that Nintendo has a new mandate for its upcoming console's controllers. A manufacturer, who is a longtime partner of Nintendo but remained anonymous, hinted that the company is focusing on incorporating advanced motion sensor hardware, particularly gyroscopic technology, into all of its new controllers. This wouldn't be the first time Nintendo has used gyroscopic sensors. They're already a feature in the current Switch controllers. However, the big news here is that this could become a standard for all games on the new console, rather than being limited to a select few titles. If this rumor is true, it could mean that gyro aiming and other motion-based controls will be a major part of the gameplay experience across Nintendo's entire content library. Of course, we'll have to wait for official confirmation, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on if you're a Nintendo fan. Picture this. It's September 6th. You're playing on your PS4 Pro, dealing with frame drops and texture pop-ins while enjoying your favorite game at 30 FPS. You've been waiting for over a year to upgrade because every online source hints that the PS5 Pro is coming out this year. But now it's September 6th, and there's still no word from Sony. Your PS4 Pro freezes once more. Frustrated, you slam your controller on the floor and say, "Fudge it, I'm heading to Best Buy to get the PS5 Slim. They have a special bundle for $400 with Spider-Man 2 included, which I've been dying to play." You get home, unbox your new console, and can't help but smell it along with the new DualSense controller. What? We all do it, right? You set it up effortlessly, transfer your account, and watch as your games appear on the PS5. You boot up Spider-Man 2 for the first time and are awestruck. Then you try God of War Ragnarok and Forbidden West, all in 4K at 60 FPS. Over the next few days, you test all your favorite PS4 games on the PS5. You can't help but think, what an idiot I was for not buying this sooner. But then on September 26th, you wake up, grab a coffee, and with half-closed eyes scroll through YouTube. Out of nowhere, Sony drops a trailer for the new PS5 Pro at $550. It hits you. The emptiness in your stomach.